Mitchell Peters, senior correspondent with Billboard in Los Angeles. Thank you for joining the Billboard Q&A Live. We are here with the lovely Amy Lee from Evanescence, whose band just dropped their third studio album today on Wind Up Records. It's self-titled. We're going to sit in here, talk to Amy, take some of your Twitter questions. We're going to listen to some new tracks on the album, and Amy will be talking about them a little bit. We've been taking your questions from Twitter all week, but you still have time to send some to @Billboard. The hashtag is BBAmy. So you tweet in all those questions, and we will chat with Amy here a little bit and get caught up. So congratulations on the release.
Thank you.
And yeah, I'm very excited to have you here. Thank you for coming by
Thanks for
on the
having me.
release of your album.
Yeah.
I was listening to it last night, and I actually really liked it a lot.
Thank you very much. I'm so glad.
Yeah.
I was listening to it last night myself. Live version. Yeah. We just played Oakland last night. Had a real good show.
Yeah.
So, first night on the bus. Woke up. Here we are, LA. Day of release. It's
Good
kind
stuff.
of a fun party day for us today.
Yeah. So, you know, the first question just right off the bat, it's been 5 years since The Open Door, your last album, which went to #1 on the Billboard 200. Congratulations
Thank
for that. So I know you've been really busy doing just various stuff. You got married over those 5 years. So just, you know, give us an idea of why it took so long to come back with another album.
Well, at first it wasn't like there was a plan. I kind of like not having a plan. I sort of want to wait, you know, for inspiration to tell us what to do, and I wasn't sure at the beginning if there was really actually going to be another Evanescence record. I mean, I love The Open Door, of course I love Fallen, but you have to have a new idea and a new energy. It's sort of like, I remember we got to the end of the tour and I was like, guys, I don't know what the plan is, let's all just do our own thing and see when and if we want to, you know, pick it up again whenever it feels like right. We were all pretty tired at that point from touring and everything, but it was good. I lived in New York. I am married now. I got married in 2007. Just lived a little bit, you know, worked on our place, just lived a normal life a little bit. At the end of the day, I love music and can't help but write music. I play the piano. I took up the harp in the time off. I started taking harp lessons. Did that a little bit, and actually it helped me write a little bit in some new ways. It's cool to have a new canvas to play with. So I wrote a lot of music, and the more music I wrote, the more it started to kind of sound like Evanescence, and the more I felt like I found myself within it again, like, and missed it, you know, for all the right reasons. You're like, oh yeah, I love that. It's a big part of me and a big part of my life and who I am, and I want to do that again.
And
so.
I know you don't just release music just because you have to. I know and I think you actually did go into the studio around 2010 and you recorded some stuff, but just didn't cut it.
It's either right or it's not. That's a hard call to make, but it wasn't right. It wasn't right for a few different reasons, and it was weird, but there was this growing pain moment where I was like, okay, this is not right. Whatever was happening right now, we have to keep working, find the right team, whatever. And we ended up actually writing a lot more songs collaboratively, like really whole band sitting, jamming together, writing, and that ended up being a very central, focused part of the record at the end of the day, especially when we got Nick Raskulinix, our producer, involved. He really pushed us as a band and pushed those elements forward and made us work together, like, and rely on each other in a way that was actually very fresh and new for us. So I think we ended up with a killer record with songs that there's experimentation and new ideas and new attitude, but at the same time, I think a lot of just great Evanescence music. I think it's an album that our fans will love.
Yeah, and I know you've mentioned in the past that this is just a reinvention of the band, the sound and everything. So just talk about that. Talk about what the album sounds like, where you came from this time around.
We've been writing forever, so the songs are diverse. You know, they're from kind of all over the place. Some of the older ones are, you know, 2.5, 3 years by now. I don't know, it's hard to explain an album. There's so much of a journey going on there. I'm singing about me now and me in the time since you've seen me, but also just about my whole life. I'm going to be 30 in 2 months. I've seen a lot of things. I've experienced a lot of things. I feel like I have, I don't know, just a deeper well of things to talk about. But musically, I think the record's heavy. It ended up being heavier. It wasn't a plan. It just happened. We started getting more and more inspired working together, and we got an incredible drummer driving the tempo. Will is insane. So I was listening back to the record actually just the other day for the millionth time and going like, wow, this is like an assault. It's like just hammering. It's a heavy record. I love it for that. It's got a real punch and an energy that I think is stronger than the other two records.
Yeah. And I know before we go on, I got to just remember this question. So you're turning 30. I just turned 30 recently, so I can kind of relate to you on that. So yeah, what do you got planned?
How's it feel?
I don't know. That's too long of a question to get into right now.
I need to prepare. No, I'm fine. I don't care.
But yeah, I mean, your birthday is in December, I think.
Yes,
if I'm
13th.
not mistaken. So what do you got planned? Any big?
No, I don't know. My husband and my best friend were scheming behind my back yesterday. I was like, guys, doesn't need to be a surprise. It's probably too complicated for it to be a surprise. Let's just do this together. I don't know. I mean, I think we'll be in New York at that time because we finished the tour right before Thanksgiving. Not finish the tour, but break in the tour for December. So I think we'll be in New York. I don't know I don't know. I really don't know. I'm so open-minded. I usually am just like, let's just go to dinner, keep it chill. But it's your 30th. You have to have some kind of a little bit of a party. Yeah.
So, keep tweeting those questions. You're blowing it up right now. But before we get to them, and by the way, it's at Billboard, #BBAmy. We're going to listen to the first single off of the album, What You Want, and we'll get a little taste of that, and then you can tell us the inspiration.
Sounds good. Oh, it's it. Just a clip.
Yeah,
just a taste.
A little taste of
it.
Just a little teaser. So What You Want, it's currently in the top 15 on the Rock Songs chart, so congratulations. Radio is very happy to have it, I'm sure. Talk to us about the song and the video as well. It's the first single, so
yeah, we all love the song. I mean, it's hard to pick a single, especially the first one after so long, but actually this was sort of a very natural choice. I don't know. I like the energy. I like the attitude. And it's really me in the moment, like motivating myself not to be afraid, like to come back and do this thing, and there was a lot of, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know, but I got all these songs. I don't know. And the whole thing, it's so crazy, like the chaos of it all. But it was like, you know what? That's what I was born to do. Like, life's not going to be easy no matter what you do. And this is really an amazing adventure, and I don't know, we have the ability to do something unique and special, and I'm just really grateful for what we have. So I don't know, the song is like a motivational, get pumped up kind of go do it kind of thing. So
I like those blue nails, by the way. They're nice.
Thank you very much. Just for you.
Oh, thank you. It's my favorite color. Do you remember where you were when you wrote the song, or was it written in different seconds?
Yeah, well, I was in New York. Tim and Terry and I wrote the song. We just sort of camped out at my house in New York for a couple of different long writing sessions. I think we were there for like a month this time. We had 2 studios going. I have a studio on the top floor of my house, like an attic space kind of, and then we turned the dining room into a little recording space too, so we could be working on 2 songs at a time. The guys could be working on music, and I could be upstairs working on stuff. Yeah, and I remember I heard Terry and Tim working on that verse riff, and it's so simple, but so good because it's so simple, and I was like, oh, that's really, really cool. Yeah, and then I started getting my melody ideas, and I sat at the piano, and it all happened pretty quickly. Yeah, that was a fun one to write.
Cool. All right, so we're going to take some Twitter questions, and again, it's at Billboard, #BBAmy. So I'm going to get to the most important question first. It's from Cloudy Dreamer.
Okay.
So, what happened to your left eyebrow piercing, and would you ever consider wearing one like it again?
I still have a little scar from it. I don't know if you can really see it, but I can. I don't know. I grew out of it. It's sort of like it kept. You know how? Have you ever had a piercing in your face?
I haven't.
It migrates out because there's not really supposed to be something there. It kept happening, and I was like, why do I keep re-piercing this? I don't know. I think in the beginning, I felt if there's a deeper answer for it at all, which I don't know that there is, but if there is, it's this. I think I felt in the beginning like I had a lot to prove. Like, yeah, I'm cool. This is a rock band. You know, I'm a chick, but I'm still hard. And then you kind of grow up a little bit and you're like, okay, I don't have to prove that anymore. I'm me. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of, rock bands and chicks and all that kind of stuff, were you inspired? I think you like Joan Jett. I know that, but are you inspired by any other female rock acts or artists? And if so, who are they? Because I love all that stuff.
My time was more 90s. And I loved Shirley Manson, loved Garbage, Veruca Salt too. Bjork isn't rock, but she's like my number one of all time, like female artist.
There's actually a question from Twitter about Bjork it's right here. It's from Gwenny Psycho Zone. You've cited Bjork as an influence on the album Evanescence. Would you ever want to work with her on a song?
Oh yeah, I mean, yes, Bjork, call me. That would be a dream come true. She's just always been an inspiration. She's one of the first artists that I felt like really, really in love with. Have all her records, and I just think she's extremely brave and confident, and just does whatever she wants musically. She invents new instruments to write songs. Like, she's incredible.
Have you heard the new album?
Yes, I haven't heard the whole thing, actually. She was releasing songs at a time, and I haven't heard the full one. I think it comes out today. I think we had the same album release day, which is really cool. But yeah, I think she's an incredible vocalist on top of all that. Most importantly, an incredible voice.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to cue up the next song. It's called Never Go Back. We want to squeeze in all the music as much as we can, so let's listen to this, and then we'll have a little chat about it.
It's the best part.
Oh, well.
I love that verse. I like how empty it is. I love that it's just like the bass and the vocals and the drums mainly.
Yeah.
It's really cool for us.
So Never Go Back, what are you never going back to? Is that symbolic for anything?
Actually, that song was inspired by the destruction in Japan this year. When we were at pre-production, we were still writing songs, and we had this one going, and lyrics usually come last. I just blah, blah, blah until stuff starts coming out that has meaning, and then I'll write around it. And yeah, that happened at the same time. I remember we were all watching the news and just seeing all these crazy images, heartbreaking ones, and I just felt like inspired to write about loss, like losing everything that you know. So that's what that song's about.
Okay. And you mentioned something that kind of segues into another Twitter question from Sunny Rays and Maggie. Hi, Amy. Do you write the lyrics to your songs first, or do you compose the music and then the lyrics?
Yeah.
P.S. My favorite track is Ocean. So talk about your songwriting process and what comes first and last.
Well, they're all different. Like, sometimes, like, I have kind of a method, but then, you have to be open always for something completely different to happen. Like, I remember when we wrote Bring Me to Life, it was almost like a lyrics first thing. Like, all these lyrics came out, like the whole first half of the song, and then the song started being written, which is really cool. You just have to go with the flow and let inspiration happen. But mostly, you just start jamming either with the guitar player or with the whole band or whatever, just making music, and get the song going, get the feelings going, and then I start thinking of the lyrics, really honing in on them and the meanings afterwards. And I'll spend the most time on the lyrics. We'll get a song, and then I'll labor over the lyrics for like weeks.
Yeah. I know, a lot of artists, everyone's different in the way they write their lyrics, but for you, is it a mixture of, like, do your lyrics have to have some kind of a personal meaning to you, or are they sometimes just poetic, words that don't really have any
They're all pretty close to my heart. Even the ones that are about something else like that, it touched me, and I could relate on a feeling level and relate other experiences in my life to that feeling. Right. So, I don't know, when the lyrics, more than anything for me, they're like my journal. It's the place where I can't lie, and I'll spill my guts from my subconscious in a way. So then it's sort of like I'll listen to it later and be like, oh, whoa, that's what I'm talking about? Wow, I gotta change my life.
Yeah. Since we're on this reflective tip, I got another question. This is from Miss Ashley K. In 50 years, when you're an old lady with a lot of cats, how will you describe the way Evanescence impacted your life to your grandkids, assuming you have grandkids?
Wow. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. I think I'll be really proud of it. Not old yet, but I'm almost
You'll be
30.
80,
Yeah.
according to this question.
And I'm already very proud and happy with my life. I think part of being able to step away the way that I did and think, hey, you know, if it's right, we'll do this again. If not, we won't, comes from the fact that even though we haven't done this that long, I already feel really satisfied with all the work that I've done and proud of it. And if that was the end of it and I didn't love it anymore, then I'd be completely happy doing something else for the rest of my life. But this is me.
What else do you think you would be doing right now if you weren't a major rock star?
I love to cook. I could totally, I know this sounds really dumb, I could really see myself running a restaurant.
Nice.
I love kids as well. I always thought maybe I'd go into music education someday, go back to school, get into scoring. I think something I've learned, especially in this time of reflection, figuring out is this really me? Is this my whole life? Is I'm a creator. I can't not be creating stuff. So I think at the end of the day, it's going to be composition of some sort, definitely.
Cool. And do you think you'll have a lot of cats? Are you a cat
I
person?
already do. Yeah, yeah. I'm a total cat person. This person obviously knows me. I have 2 cats. That's not too many, right?
No,
I
that's not
almost
too
got
many.
a third one, and I was like, I'm not going to be that person. Not yet.
So I'll take another question. It's from Mandy Rosask, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. We know you can sing, play the harp, the piano, the guitar, write music, paint, draw. I'm sure the list goes on. You cook. Any other mad skills?
Wow.
Mad
That's a pretty
skills.
cool list. It's
It has to
nice
be
hearing back
mad.
like that. I think those are probably my best skills. I feel like I can't think of anything else. I love to cook. I love to paint. All that stuff's in there.
All right.
Boring.
This is from Gabriella BC. Dear Amy, which song was the hardest one to write on this new album and why? I guess you can
Erase
interpret
this. Erase this. It was one of the songs that we tried and tried. Like every writing session, we'd pick it back up and try again and not get there with it. But we believed in it and we kept bringing it to the table. I started writing it with Terry in like June of 2010, and we had the verse. But we could never get the chorus. And then we got the bridge, and we still could never get the chorus at another session. Just like every couple of months, we'd bring it back out with the other guys or whoever we were with at the time and try to work on it. And finally, at pre-production, like at the very end of things, right before going in, I didn't think it was going to be finished. I didn't think we were going to be able to do it. And then Nick had this awesome, crazy idea of combining like 2 separate songs that we had that were sort of like, they both had awesome parts, but weren't awesome completed songs. So we took like the awesome verse of one and the awesome chorus of another and smashed them together. And I actually think that part of what's really cool about the song for me is the feeling of the shift between the verse and the chorus, because they didn't originally belong together, but they work perfectly together.
Nice. All right, we're going to listen to another song. This one's called My Heart Is Broken. So what's that song about?
That's another one that was kind of inspired by other things a little bit. I mean, how do I start? The song was actually inspired by victims of sex trafficking. My husband and I are involved with an organization in New York called Restore, that is, they rescue women from sex trafficking and help them start to rebuild their lives. I just remember we were in a phase where we were learning a lot about it, and it's so tragic and so heartbreaking and so common. I don't know, sometimes I'll just start writing and the words start popping out, and then I go, oh, I think this is what I'm writing about. Okay, like that's the train I'm going to follow. So that's what inspired the song. But in general, and for me, I definitely find myself within it. It's just about that admission of feeling lost, you know, being trapped. Like, okay, I'm in a situation and I want out, you know. So yeah, I love that song a lot.
Yeah, no, I like that one too.
It's hard to play.
Since we're on the subject, this album deals with a lot of heavy, different types of themes, relationships, love, death, freedom. So, I don't know, any other personal things that have happened in your life over these past 5 years, maybe that you can talk about, just how they relate to some of the songs on the album?
I definitely went down some roads of the past a little bit to draw inspiration. But at the same time, over the last few years, I was really going through a self-discovery time. It was like, I need to find myself. I need to start over and see if this is who I am. All of that. It makes you think, and it makes you at times feel totally lost. Point that you just start repeating things over and over, and it's like it loses its meaning after a while. Like, you have to be able to get real. So I went through a lot of thinking and feelings and just purging myself, but yeah, that is a lot of the inspiration on the record.
Cool. Going back to Twitter, and we're gonna lighten it up a little bit. This is from TK408. Amy, does it weird you out when you see people with Evanescence tattoos?
I think it's cool. I don't have any tattoos, so I always feel like it's so permanent that I almost feel like, I hope you like the new record. I hope you still like me in 10 years. But I think it's incredibly flattering. I just saw a girl with a really beautiful one last night. It's cool. A lot of times now they've gotten the tattoo on the last album cycle or the one before, and they're coming to get it signed, and then they're going to go get the signature tattooed.
Oh,
so I have to be really careful about my signature.
How come you don't have any tattoos? Just no desire?
You know what's funny? It's sort of like everyone around me, all growing up, everybody had tattoos. Yeah. So it's sort of the more rebellious thing not to have any.
I think these days it is, because at least in LA, it's like everyone has a tattoo.
Yeah.
This question is from Carlos BC. What was the best gift that you've ever received from a fan?
From a fan? I've gotten some really, really cool creative things. I love it when they make gifts. Let me think. Once I got from a Mexican fan this awesome video. It was like a claymation short with all of us in it, like all the band members, and it was just playing, you know, like, I don't know, Whisper or something in the background, and you see all these little claymation figures, and like we go into a graveyard and there's like a ghost, and it's really cute. I love it when fans go to the trouble to like create something. It's awesome.
Nice. Apparently, Philippines. Apparently they think of you as a sex symbol. So what can you say about being a sex symbol, if you maybe have ever even considered yourself one?
I don't know how to answer that question. It's weird. It's weird how I feel about it. Okay, it's weird. I'm definitely not like that. So, I mean, not that I'm not a woman. Great, cool. But I don't know. I think people look up to people that are famous or whatever. And I definitely have a team of people doing my makeup and hair, so it's not all real.
Right. And here's another very important question. They even say it's a very important question. From Patty Kell. Have you ever read the Harry Potter books?
No, and I feel bad saying no because I really love the movies, and my sister's a big reader, and she's like, you have to read the books. Like, she's been saying that for like 8 years. I'm a bad person. I want to read them.
I haven't read them either.
Actually, really like the story.
I don't even know what the story's about.
Dragons or something, I don't know.
Twilight, Harry
Kids,
Potter, I don't know
school,
anything
Britain.
about that stuff. I wanted to personally ask you, you know, this album, I know you have a lot of new bandmates and people collaborating, so just talk about some of the new band members that you have now and what they all sort of bring to the table and how you collaborated in the songwriting, even though you have discussed it a little bit.
Yeah, this is really strong lineup. This is the same lineup we had touring the Open Door. And I remember by the end of tour, we were just really solid, and it was time to stop, but I was like, man, we finally just nailed it. Like, we've nailed our live show. Yeah. I am so grateful that these are the guys that we got to have go in and make this record. If there's any team of people in the entire world that could have done it, this is the exact people that I would have wanted. Terry, of course, you know, we wrote the Open Door together. He's got a great mind. He just kind of creates without thinking, and really has this special sound and style that brings something to the table that just feels like Evanescence to me. Just a beautiful part of it. Tim ended up being a very big part of the writing process this time around. I think I can hear that. It's hard to explain his flavor. He's a California guy. He's from Sacramento, and I don't know. He's got the bass, so I don't know. He's got the groove. It's awesome. Yeah. And he's a very good writer as well. So it was very cool collaborating with Tim. We're really close. He lived in New York for a while, so we spent a lot of time together. Will, the drummer, amazing. He's the best drummer in the world. He hits so hard and with such feeling. And I think it takes the music in a lot of different styles subtly, the way that he plays the riffs. And Troy, of course, came along last of all because he was with another band at the time, but then was able to join us too in the end and be a part of it, be a part of creating with us, get in there and really jam. He's an incredible guitar player and the sweetest guy in the world. So it just felt like a little bit of a family reunion, all coming back together and then infusing creativity into what we already did, playing together. Yeah, it was a very positive experience.
Cool. Well, we're going to play another song, Lost in Paradise, and then we'll take a couple more questions from Twitter. It's at Billboard, #BBAmy. This is Lost in Paradise. So that's a good example. There's a lot of everything on this album. There's the hard rockin' songs, there's the softer ballads. Do you have any favorites on the album that you haven't already talked about?
It's hard to pick a favorite. That song's very special to me. I really love it. I felt like I sort of hit a place in that whole self-discovery thing where it's like I knew that I wanted to come back to Evanescence. And I knew I wanted to make another record. And it's all in there, that feeling of like, wow, I am here, I have my house, I have my husband, happily ever after, but that's not all of it for me. Like, I need that other thing that's part of who I am, and that struggle. I love that song a lot. I think it's really beautiful. We've only played it live 2 times now, but it's very, very satisfying to play live.
Speaking of live, I know you played a show last night in Oakland, and you played Rock in Rio recently. So how does it feel being back on stage in front of the fans?
Really
you guys
good.
Rusty after 5 years?
Well, no. I mean, no. It takes a second to just get the new crew and everybody just to where you got the show where it just runs perfectly.
Right.
We had a pretty perfect show last night, and I loved it. And we played actually San Juan before that and had a really fun show. The fans there were great. We'd never been to Puerto Rico before, so it was cool to finally go. It feels awesome. I really, for me more than any of the other guys, it's been this whole time since I've been on stage. So it's like it's new again and it's exciting and it's great to see the fans. I feel like I'm noticing already that they really are growing with us. Like we'll always have, teenagers and stuff at our shows, but I see more than anything, I feel like people my age, all ages actually, from all different walks of life, and I think that's really, really cool.
Yeah. And today's album release date, you're playing at the Palladium tonight in Hollywood, so I don't know, you got any of those album release day jitters or anything like that?
No, it's a party. Today is a celebration. It's going to be a great show.
To the end of November, I believe, and what's the plan beyond that?
We'll be touring all next year. We always tour the whole world, but we want to try to make this our most extensive tour. Like, there's still some places that we've never been to, like China, Indonesia, parts of South America, Ireland. I can't believe we've never played there. Anyway, we're going to try to hit all those places that we really want to go to, that we get requests for and everything, and in addition to playing the U.S. and Europe and Japan and stuff like we always do. So we're just going to be running around playing shows all over the globe for the foreseeable future.
Nice. I'll take one more question from Twitter, and then we'll play one more song. Okay. This one's from Silently X Broken. So if you had the opportunity to be a member of a band that you love, which band would it be? And I'll take this a little bit further. And it can be a band that's still around today, or maybe a band that doesn't exist anymore. And we'll say you can sing or you can play.
I'll be Stevie Wonder's background vocalist.
Nice. Well,
I love Stevie Wonder, and that's completely different than what I do, and I know all those background vocal parts. I could do that right now.
And I know, going back to what we were talking about before, how you recorded some songs back in 2010. I think I read somewhere you mentioned that could someday, those songs could be a possible solo album. So
Yeah.
is that maybe in the works?
I don't have a plan right now. I'm just fully focused on Evanescence at the moment. But we have a ton of extra music. Some of it is Evanescence music, and some of it's not. I don't know what the plan is. I think right now the plan is just Evanescence. But I think it's totally possible that I'll do something else someday.
Cool. So we'll play one more song for you guys. It's called The Change, and then Amy can tell us a little bit about it.
Cool.
Did we play the best part of the
Yeah,
song?
actually.
All right, good. So what tell us a little bit about the song. What's the inspiration
I
behind
really
it?
hope this one's a single. There's a lot of songs that could be a single, and it's really hard to make that choice now that we're past the first one. But I really believe in the change. I don't know how to even say. I love a lot about it. I like how the chorus isn't lyrics. It's just total cry. It's just like an outcry. I think it's really strong. I think it's different for us. I think you can really hear Tim in it. Those verses and that feeling, it's very much him and his almost Police-esque influence or something. Yeah, what else can I say about the song? I don't know. I love playing it live. It's hard. I gotta be careful to still have enough air in my lungs by the end of it, but it's awesome. Yeah.
And I know today you have a busy day, but you were talking before this. You said you have a little ritual that you like to do on album release day. You like to go out and buy
Oh
the
yeah,
album.
you have to go buy your album.
Yeah, we won't say where she's gonna go buy it because we don't want to get a big mob of fans.
I was gonna
over
do it
there.
last night, but we were so tired. We just got on the bus and went to sleep. So
Yeah.
after this, we're gonna go buy the record.
And I want to ask one more question. Just in these past 5 years since you released your last album, what has changed in the music business really for you? And I mean, obviously social media, Twitter,
Right.
Facebook.
Well, obviously things have changed a lot. I don't even know really what that means for us yet. I know that our fans are still strong, and I think that's the most important thing. We've seen them just come out of the woodwork in the past year and still be there and as dedicated and excited for the new record as I could possibly hope for. But yeah, I mean, social networking. I tweet. I'll be tweeting about this in a minute.
You should
Yeah.
be tweeting right after.
I know.
that.
I did yesterday.
Oh, awesome. Well, thank you. Well, we'll close this out again with the single What You Want. And Evanescence on tour, North America. Go check them out. Go buy the album. Thank you very much again for coming here today and
Thanks a lot.
talking to us.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.